There's a new kid in town. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to TechWake TV. It has been forever and a day since I've done a video, and I wanted to come to you today to talk about something I'm pretty excited about. It was a video that got a lot of views before for me. It was the SoundMates Pro review that I did from some headphones that I bought at Home Depot about, I don't know, a year ago, maybe longer. But I thought they were pretty impressive for 39 bucks. I tried the SoundMates Pro and put them up against the Apple product, and I found that they sounded pretty much as good. I would give them a score of somewhere around 80 to 85% as good as the Apple product, but the price was so low, it made it seem worth it. So I've used these headphones all year long. There's a couple things that I don't like about them, and there's a couple things that I like about them a lot. So I'm walking through Home Depot the other day, and I look over, and I see the typical SoundMates Pro box, but it had some different words on it. So check it out. This is called the SoundMates Pro ANC. It's pretty cool. So what's different about these and the other SoundMates that I had before? Well, it seems like it's the same 1.5 hour charge time, 5 hours of playback time. You could charge 4 times off the case. And the only difference, I think the other SoundMates were Bluetooth 4.0, but this is Bluetooth 5.0. I'm not sure. They might be both 5.0. It doesn't really matter. It works well either case. But the main thing that's different about this new one, the Pro ANC, it's active noise cancellation. So I was really intrigued by whether or not this would be as good as possibly the Earpods Pro. Now, to cut this video short, if you're really trying to see if it's as good as the Earpods Pro, I'll tell you right off the bat, they're not, but they're still really, really good, and they're still much better than last year's SoundMates Pro. So let's go through some of the things that this new setup can do and why it's good. Let's unbox. So the box is very similar to last year's version. It has like a magnetic door, and it kind of clicks here on the side. It's kind of nice. I actually like how they package these. It's simple, but yet it's kind of professional. And on the front, you'll see the ANC indicator, the active noise cancellation. It's Bluetooth 5, an hour and a half charging, 5 hours of playback on the headsets. This case with the headphones, being able to listen 5 hours at a time and charge it 4 times, theoretically 20 hours. I don't know if that's going to be in real life practical, but let's take a look. So it comes in here, and you can right away see the case is a little different than last year's. It looks square. And if you look at the earpiece on here, it also looks a little flat and square. And it is. It's a different design. And one thing I am kind of happy about is that SoundMates isn't so focused on making these look exactly like the AirPods Pro. They're saying, hey, let's improve last year's model and give you a good product, and it looks different than the AirPods Pro, and that's okay. It's like copying a product just for the sake of looking the same isn't necessarily always a good thing, because it looks like you're trying too hard to be something you're not. So as you open this up, you'll see there's a foam case inside. Inside is the package, and you will see that this case has a flat spot on top and bottom. You see a charging indicator light. Yes, this is not a true unboxing. I put it all back in the box so I could unbox it, but I have the headphones charging inside, and it has the USB-C connector for the bottom for charging, and you just plug that in like that. And inside the case, if you keep going down in here, you end up with the instruction manual, which we'll take a look at, and you have a few things as well. So the instruction manual shows you how to operate the device. One thing I'll say right out of the gates, the voice that speaks to you in your ear to tell you things are happening is much more professional and clearer and easier to understand. In here, you'll see charging. You'll see how to set it up with your device. Basically, you turn on your Bluetooth on your phone, and you pull these headphones out, put them in your ear, and then you'll see the SoundMates ANC show up on your phone, Bluetooth, and you hit connect, and it connects right away. At least it did for my case. Now, with these headphones, when you put them in, sometimes they'll take a minute to get synchronized with one another. And when I say minute, I mean a few seconds. But typically it happens right away, and I've had no issue like the old SoundMates. People would complain to me, like, I can hear noise out of this one, but not that one. And they'd have to keep putting their headphones back in their case, pulling them out a few times until they got it figured out. This one doesn't seem to have that problem, and I haven't had connectivity issues yet. You have touch areas on both earpods, and you have the ear tip that goes in your ear. The pairing and charging, that should be self-explanatory. What I wanted to talk about is the power on. There's 2 ways to turn it on. You can either take it out of the case, or if your buds have been laying on the counter and have gone to sleep, you can pick them up and touch one of the ears, and it should turn on. to power off, you place your devices back in the case, or you do a long touch on your ear for like 5 seconds until the voice says powering off. To answer a call, left or right earbud, the phone's ringing, you tap it, it picks up the phone. Phone call quality is still okay. It's not great. I asked my brother-in-law yesterday, and I tricked him. I said, hey, how do I sound on these? He goes, a little bit like you're in a tunnel. I said, oh, okay. So that's a bummer. And he goes, why? And I go, I just bought these new Earpods Pro and I thought they would sound better. He goes, no, they sound good. They actually sound pretty good. And I said, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, well, these are Soundmates. So it's like, I couldn't get like an objective point of view, but it just goes to show that it's probably not that bad. But it may not be as good as the AirPods Pro as far as conversation. But I wanted these more for music listening, 90%, and I don't use the AirPods as I'm walking around a whole lot. Ending a call, you basically just double tap and it turns it off. The double tap during music is the same way that you stop and start music. So just think of pause and play when you double tap. Rejecting a call, you will be able to hear the phone ring in your ear, and then you just put your finger on your ear and hold it for 2 seconds, and it'll just send the call to voicemail. Play pause, again, it's a 2-time tap. It's a 1-2 pause, 1-2 play. Next song is, this is the only thing I don't like. I wish they had the tapping, or I wish they had a different tap sequence for next song, because to go to next song, it's 1, 2, 3 on the right to skip forward, 1, 2, 3 on the left to go backwards. And sometimes it doesn't pick up the first tap, so it pauses and gets confused. So I don't do a lot of skipping and pausing and stuff with the headphones, to be honest. I just usually do that with the phone in my hand. But if you're in the kitchen, your phone's across the room, and you're doing some cooking and you want to hear the next song, you can tap it 3 times, move forward, move backwards. Now, if you're listening to music or you're just sitting there and you put your finger on the earpod for 1, 2 seconds, it'll come on with a voice and say noise cancellation on, noise cancellation off. So you can turn it on and off. So of course, the first thing I'm going to do is sit there in pure silence and turn on noise cancellation and then turn it off and check the differences. Now, here's where I'm not really sure how good the noise cancellation is, but it is working. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. On AirPods Pro, if you turn noise cancellation on and you rub your fingers together like that, right? You can't hear that hardly in your ear at all. Like, you can't hear that noise. It's like a frequency that would be outer noise. Now, if you snap your fingers, you're going to hear some snapping, but it's going to be subdued. And this is all with no music playing. Okay. The noise cancellation on the AirPods is really good. But I will say this is really strange. Yesterday, I was testing the Soundmates ANC noise cancellation, and I've noticed that when you turn the noise cancellation on and off, sometimes it doesn't actually seem like it makes any difference, because I can still hear the same stuff that I was hearing before a little bit. But something really strange happened. I had the oven going yesterday, and I was fiddling around with noise cancel on off again, and I was getting ready to make a cup of coffee. And as I did it, I would distinctly hear a certain noise. And then I would turn noise cancellation on. And I thought, oh, is there like feedback or some kind of weird noise in the headphones themselves? Only to realize that it was canceling my oven fan perfectly. I mean, it made it go away. I could stand right next to the oven, turn noise cancel off, the fan would be on. You could hear it clear as a bell. Turn it on, it would like literally just die and go away. So I think the Soundmates is a much narrower frequency range of noise cancellation, where I think Apple probably does better noise cancellation across the whole range of your hearing from 20 to 20 kilohertz. But I think the Soundmates probably go for that narrow band, and they're probably targeting like the noise of an airplane, the noise of a taxi cab. But like when you go out in the street, you'll hear the sound of a horn, but you won't hear the rumble of a car. It's just kind of weird. It's like they've picked a different frequency to kill noise. But I can say it does enhance the listening experience. It is better than what was there before. And the sound quality of the Soundmates ANC, the new setup, is a lot better. Now, a couple drawbacks. First thing I noticed right away, I don't know why I always do this. I put headphones in my ear and I crank it all the way up to see how loud it gets. I never really listen to headphones that loud. I'm usually like a half volume kind of guy. And the nice thing about noise cancellation is it allows you to listen at a lower volume and still hear the music perfectly well and not have to drown out outside noise. So they don't get as loud as the last year's Soundmates, but they do cancel some noise, and you don't need them to be as loud. And I would say the sound quality of these is much smoother and more refined than the other pair that I had before. The Soundmates Originals or the Soundmates Pro, they sounded very nice. There was a few songs and a few type of tracks. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but there would be like a little crackling or distortion. It sounded like a speaker that was distorting, just ever so slightly. Like if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't hear it, but when you're really critiquing, you could hear it. These don't do that. These have a much cleaner sound, much smoother range. And what's really surprising is you'll listen to them for a little while and you think, these aren't that bassy. And then you'll get a song with some real true infrasonic deep bass and you can hear it and it sounds really good and full and rich. So I think they're just more accurate. So I would give these literally, like, if Apple AirPods are a 10 out of 10, if that's your measuring stick, but I wouldn't even say they are because I think they're still lacking in some areas from sound quality. But if the Apple AirPods is your measuring stick, and let's call that the 10 out of 10, I would say these are a 9. Now, I haven't had a lot of time with them, but they sound like if you laid these on the table and you said, listen to these, and then you said, okay, listen to the AirPods. You go, oh, that noise cancellation really works well. And then you say, okay, these are $220 and these are 40. Which ones do you go home with? I'm going 40 all day long. And I know there's some people who are, avid Apple fans, and I'm one of them. I have an Apple MacBook Air M1. I have an M1 Mac Mini on my desk. I have Apple phones. So I'm the Apple guy. And the other thing, one more thing I want to mention about these that really, really pisses me off the way these work is they're gaining connectivity and letting go of connectivity between devices. So let's paint a scenario. You're downstairs, you've got your laptop, you're listening to these headphones, everything's peachy, you're done, you want to go to bed, you shut your laptop, shove it in the folder, you set it on the table, you run upstairs, you pull out your phone, and you go to listen to these headphones. They've already been synced with your phone, and you see Soundmates ANC, and you want to click it, but when you click it, it won't connect. They're still stuck connected to the laptop downstairs. So you have to run all the way downstairs, open the laptop, disconnect the Soundmates, and then grab your phone and reconnect these. The Apple AirPods are really cool that way. You can have all three devices sitting in your lap, iPad, laptop, and phone. And I can sit there on my phone and say, okay, take the AirPods to the phone, and it goes right to the phone. I can go to the iPad and click AirPods, and it'll pick up on the iPad. So I can move from devices without having to literally disconnect from this first and then connect to that. These won't do that. And I'm sure it's because they're a generic brand and they're not set up with the same communicative infrastructure that the AirPods would have. That's just one drawback you're going to have to deal with. Before you go to bed and you want to listen to your AirPods on your phone or your iPad, whatever device they were on previously listening, unhook that device before you rehook to something else, and it makes your life a whole lot easier. If anybody has a different experience or knows how to do that differently, then just let me know because I'm all ears. I don't understand. The other thing too, this case is square. Rectangular, and it has flat tops and bottoms. So unlike an AirPods case, this can actually sit upright. It can lay down. It won't go this way, but it can sit upright and lay down. The one additional note, the door seems to be a little stronger. The hinge system is still plastic back here. Some people before were like, well, why does that matter? Well, I just am always thinking about me, and I'm a little rough on things. And to look at these up close, you can see here it flashes, it's looking and connecting. This is your touch zone. The bar of these are a little flatter, so they don't quite look exactly like AirPods Pro. They might need a little more room in here to do the things that they're doing with the noise cancellation, but it has the same earbuds. I use a medium, and they fit fine for me. They have smalls and larges in the box, but their look is really good, and the voice is really cool. And they sit there and they give you flash indicators of things that are going on. And I think right now, I think it's connected to my phone. I would play you the voice, but I don't know how. Let me try. And just before anybody asks, because I know in the last video people said, hey, do the Apple AirPods Pro fit in this case? They do not. This is a unique case for these devices. So I'm going to shut these for a second, and then I'm going to play the noise. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that's the voice of these AirPods. So if you guys want a close-up look here, this is what they look like. You can see the little dot here in the bottom, and you can see the headphone itself. That's it. Not much to look at. If you're looking for a good Christmas gift, something under 50 bucks, but something a little nicer than your average gift, this is perfect. I mean, I don't know anybody that wouldn't want these headphones because they're comfortable. They're really nice and they fit in your ear. They stay put, I think, a little better than last year's model. I really like the design and they seem to last just fine. If I get 3, 4, 5 hours out of my headphones, I'm fine. Plus you could charge it up to, I believe, 4 or 5 times out of the case. So all in all, I give these a 9 out of 10. Literally, if the SoundMates Pro last year were like a 8, 8.5 out of 10, these definitely moved up to a 9. The noise canceling is not as good as the Apple Earpods, but it still works and it's functional and it's better than it was. So what's not to like? Definitely look at these. They're over at Home Depot. I know they're sitting on these display boxes. I'm sure you can find them somewhere else. But if you're looking for these online, SoundMates Pro ANC. And they're Bluetooth 5. So check these out. Might be something you want to get yourself or get someone for Christmas and try them out, man. They're pretty good. I'll talk to you guys soon. And thanks so much for coming to Tech Wake. I'll try to do more videos here in the future. I've just been busy with work and my other YouTube channel, but I definitely want to share some of the geekdom that I have stumbled into in the last few months. And I have a lot of it. So you guys hang in there, have happy holidays, and I'll talk to you soon.